ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं भरते कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तमा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिम् यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः।
ॐ श्री
परमात्मने नमः।
अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः।
अथ त्रयोदशोऽध्यायः।
अर्जुन उवाच
अर्जुन उवाच
प्रकृतिं पुरुषं चैव क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च
प्रकृतिं
प्रकृतिं
पुरुषं
पुरुषं
चैव
चैव क्षेत्रं
क्षेत्रज्ञमेव
क्षेत्रज्ञमेव च
एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव।
एतद्वेदितुमिच्छामि
ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं च केशव।
श्रीभगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
इदं शरीरं कौन्तेय क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते
इदं
इदं
शरीरं
शरीरं कौन्तेय
क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते।
क्षेत्रमित्यभिधीयते।
एतद्यो वेति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति तद्विदः।
एतद्यो वेत्ति तं प्राहुः क्षेत्रज्ञ इति
क्षेत्रज्ञ इति
तद्विदः
तद्विदः
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि सर्वक्षेत्रेषु भारत।
क्षेत्रज्ञं चापि मां विद्धि
सर्वक्षेत्रेषु
सर्वक्षेत्रेषु
भारत
भारत।
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं यत्तज्ज्ञानं मतं मम।
क्षेत्रक्षेत्रज्ञयोर्ज्ञानं
यत् ज्ञानं मतं
यत्तज्ज्ञानं
मम
मतं मम।
तत्क्षेत्रं यच्च यादृक् च यद्विकारि यतश्च यत्।
तत्क्षेत्रं
क्षेत्रं यच्च
यच्च
यादृक् च
यादृक्
यद्विकारि
यद्विकारि
यतश्च
यतश्च
यत्
यत्।
स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च तत्समासेन मे शृणु।
स च यो यत्प्रभावश्च
प्रभावश्च तत्समासेन
तत्समासेन मे
शृणु।
शृणु
ऋषिभिर्बहुधा गीतं छन्दोभिर्विविधैः पृथक्।
ऋषिभिर्बहुधा
बहुधा
गीतं
गीतं
छन्दोभिर्विविधैः
छन्दोभिर्विविधैः
पृथक्
पृथक्।
ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः।
ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव
ब्रह्मसूत्रपदैश्चैव
हेतुमद्भिर्विनिश्चितैः।
That we have seen. का प्रकृतिः कः पुरुषः किं क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञः कः किं ज्ञानं किं ज्ञेयम् एतत् अहं वेदितुम् इच्छामि। हे केशव एतत् वेदितुम् इच्छामि। इति अर्जुनस्य प्रश्नः। 6 questions Arjuna asked. तस्य उत्तरं भगवता दत्तं। क्षेत्रं किमिति इदम् इति पदेन निर्दिष्टं किं शरीरम्। Then the word referring to everything other than Atma. So idam, but Bhagavan says shariram, idam shariram, idama nirdishtam, idam nirdishtam, this shariram is kshetram, iti avidiyate, iti katyate, kshetram iti. Yaha kshetram janati, taka kshetrajnaha. Kshetram janati, kshetravit, kshetram janati iti kshetrajnaha. एतत् यः वेति तं प्रागुः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञः। एतत् किं क्षेत्रं यः क्षेत्रं वेति जानाति तं प्रागुः इस् कॉल्ड क्षेत्रज्ञः। क्षेत्रज्ञं च अपि मां विद्धि महावाक्य। The one who is aware of the kshetra, this body, sharira manasangata, this upadhi, means body is known, it means body is not me. I know the cat, but I'm not the cat. I know the donkey, but I'm not the donkey. I know the body, I know the mind, the thoughts, the vritti of the mind, pratyayas, I know. Sense organs, yes, I know, I operate. Therefore, it cannot be me. Therefore, kshetrajna is different from kshetra. Atma is distinct from anatma. Stula, Sukshma, Karna, Sharira, Dvitiptaha, Panchakoshatitaha, Sannavasthatraya Sakshi, Sachidananda Swarupa, Sanyati Tishtati Sa Atma. Therefore, Kshetrajna is the knower of Kshetra, the Swarupa of Kshetrajna is Atma. That Atma is Mam Viddhi. May you know that to be me. Mam is Ishvaraha. Ishvaram Mam. Bhagavan not says as son of Vasudeva, but as Vasudeva, as the Lord. Vasudevaha. Vasuhu cha devaha. Vasuscha aso devaha. Vasudevaha. Sati sarvasmin iti Vasuhu. The one who lives, who resides in everything, who is everywhere. Sarvasmin vasati. Saha devaha. Divyati. He shines as Antaryami in all the beings. That is called Vasudeva. Mam, that is me. Therefore, I who knows the kshetra, aware of the knowledge of the kshetra, is Mam Ishvara. Therefore, it is Tat and Tvam Pada Aikyam. Kshetrajnam is Tvam Pada. Mam is Tat Pada. Ishvara, Jiva Ishvara, Aikyam is the Mahavakya. It is Kshetrajnam Chapi Mam Vidhi. It's a Mahavakya. Sarva Kshetreshu, with regard to all the kshetra. In all the bodies, there is only Kshetrajna, that is Mam Ishvara alone. So Ishvara alone resides. Sarva Kshetreshu Mam Kshetrajna. So therefore it is Ishvara who resides. Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Hrideshu Tishtati Arjuna. In the 18th chapter, Bhagavan says, Sarva Bhutanam Ishvara Mam Vidhi. Therefore, the one who has the knowledge of Kshetrajna distinctly, that person knows. He knows the truth. Therefore, I tell you, what is Kshetram? Tat Kshetram Kim? Yadrik Tat Yadvikari is modifications. Yatascha Yasmat Tat Bhavati. And also Yat Prabhavaha Cha Saha referring to Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna Kaha, Kshetrajnasya Prabhavaha, the glory of Kshetrajna. Everything, Samasena, briefly I will tell you, may you listen. See, we saw the next shloka, which also, we saw we were reading that. Rishibir Bhagavad Gitam, it is the Stuti shloka. So in between, Stuti is done. Because Bhagavan is going to present an important teaching. Interest in the teaching can be created. Interest in the Upadesha, the teaching can be created by praising it. Therefore, it's a stuti. In order to enthuse the mind of the listener. Shrotra buddhi prarochanartam stauti Bhagavan. Vivakshitam stauti kshetra ke yoho yatatmyam Bhagavan stauti. Bhashikara says, in order to praise, that is kshetra and kshetrajna, which Bhagavan is going to present. Therefore, stuti is done. Stuti. The Rishibhihi Bhagavad Gitam. Rishibhihi, ye Rishayaha, starting from Bhrigu up to Vasishta, Bhrigvadi Vasishtantehi Magarshibihi. By Rishibhihi, Kshetra Kshetrajna Yatatmyam Jnanam, Yatatmijnanam, Purushartha Hetutvena Gitam Nirupitam. And commentator says that. That is the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. It is Gitam. Gitam is Nishchitam. Sung by the Rishis means what? Rishis are called Kavayaha. Rishis, Kavihi. Poets. Kavi has got another meaning also, poet. Rishis are also called Kavihi. But not that they write poems in imaginary, fictitious poem. They present the truth. Therefore, Gitam, sung, it means Nishchitam. They decisively, they present the truth. Rishibhihi, Upanishad Kartrubihi, Mantra Dashtaraha, they are Rishayaha. Therefore, Bhrigavadi Vasishtantaihi, Rishibhihi, Vividaihi, Aneka Prakaraihi, Aneka prakaraihi chandobihi. Chandobihi is Veda. Chandas is Veda. Chandas, the word has got many meaning. In this context, we have to take Chandas to mean Vedaha, Chandobihi, Upanishadbihi, more particular. Chandaha is Veda. Chandamsi, Rigadini, Yajur, Sama, and Atharva. Chandas is interesting. You can note. Chandas is Sakaranta Shabda. Some second class, we saw Tamil Rajas, Tamil Chandas. Chandaha, Chandasi, Chandamsi. Nitya Vakti Bhagavachanam, Chandobihi, Rajobihi, Manobihi, Chandobihi, like that. Taihi Chandobihi. How many Chandas are there? Ashiti Upari Shata Adhika Sagastra Shaka Vedena Dividaihi Vedantaihi Upanishadbihi. This is not Bhagavad Shankara Bhasha. Some commentators say, but interesting thing. Ashiti Upari Shata. Ashiti Upari Shata is 108. Ashiti is sorry, 80. 180. Ashiti Upari Shata. Then Sagastra Shaka. Adhika Sagastra Shaka Vedana. 1180 shakas, branches are there. Each branch has got one Upanishad. Therefore, how many Upanishads? 1180 Upanishads. Therefore, through that Upanishad, therefore Vividaihi, Vedantehi, Upanishadbihi, it is Shadvida Lingaihi, this Vedanta Tattvam, Kshetra Kshetrajna, Atmyam, Jnanam is Gitam, it is Nishchitam, very decisively, conclusively, the Kshetra Kshetrajna, Yatatmyam, Eva Gitam, the reality of the Kshetra. The Kshetra, Shariram is Midya, Jagat is Midya, and Kshetrajna is Satyam. That is Gitam, that is told, that is presented. So Kshetram also presented, Kshetrajna also. Where Kshetra is presented in the Shastram, in the Upanishad, that type of presentation is called Tatastha Lakshanam. Like for example, Yato Bhagimani Bhuta Nijakante, very famous Vakya of Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato Bhagimani Bhuta. In fact, this Vakya becomes a basis for the Sutra in the Brahma Sutra. Atato Brahma Jignasa, Yasmad, the next, Atato Brahma Jignasa, Janma Dasya Yataha, the next Sutra. Yataha, the word is important because taken from Yato Bhagimani Bhuta, from which all these Bhutas have come. So with reference to Bhuta, that Brahma is indicated Tatastha Lakshanam. Not only Tatastha Lakshanena Gitam Suchyate Brahma Ishvaraha, even by Swarupa Lakshanam also, the same Upanishad Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Swarupa Lakshanayapi Gitam, Bhagavad Gitam, Brahma Sutra Padescha, Brahma Sutra, Brahma Suchaka, Brahma Sutra Suchaka, Padehi Vakyani, Vakyagi, Suchitam, Kshetrajna, Kshetra is Suchitam, Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra, as I told, it is not Brahma Sutra, it is Brahmanaha Suchakani, Brahma Sutrani. That is how we have to take. Sutrayati, Varnayati, Brahma Sutra. That is the words which present Brahma. Which words present Brahma? Words of the Upanishad. Vedanta, Vakyehi. Therefore, Vividaihi, Upanishadbihi, Vedanta, Vakyehi, Brahma Sutra Padehi, Hetumadbihi, with Hetu, all the logic, reasoning. Tarka, it is not something which has to be swallowed, the truth. With Hetumadbihi. So, Hetu, like Sadeva it Saumidamagra Asit, Ekameva Ditiyam. That sentence, that Vakya is elaborately discussed in Panchadashi Visa. Tadeva Somidamagra Asit. Srishtehe Purvam Asit. What Satyeva? That Vakya is logically, it is analyzed and truth. Ekameva Dvitiyam, that is Sat, Tadeva Asit, Srishtehe Prak, and that is Ananda Swarupaha. Iti Etamadvihi, Yuktibihi, by reasoning, Shrutivakyehi, Yuktibihi, Vinishchitaihi, Starena, Nishchayena, Vinishchitaihi, Vinishchitaihi. Nishchayim, well, it is well ascertained. Nishchita is ascertained. By ascertainment, the word is important because the Tatparya of the Shastram is ascertained by applying the Shad Linga. Vedantasara, we saw in Vedantasara, it is defined. What are those Shad Linga? Pakramopasamharaha, Pakramopasamharo, Vyaso Purvatapalam. Arthavadopapattisya Lingam Tatparya Renage, the sixfold techniques are applied to arrive at the Tatparyam of the Shastram. That is what is unfolded or what is going to be unfolded. It is in the introduction. Upakrama is introduction. Upasamhara conclusion. So in the introduction as well as in the conclusion, Brahma Tattvam is talked about. And that teaching, that is the teaching that is talked about. Like any seminar or any even in news also, there will be first introduction, there will be highlights, and then the highlights will be repeated at the end. Upakrama Upasamhara, because that is what is going to be further elaborated. So what is presented at the beginning, the same thing is presented at the conclusion also. This we will see in all the Upanishads. Applying this sign, this character, they arrive at the Tatparyam of the Shastram. Then Abhyasaha, another linga, another sixfold signs are called Shadvida linga. So Upakrama Upasamhara is one. Abhyasaha is, Abhyasa is not practice. Abhyasa is repetition. Like in Chandogya Upanishad, that is the famous example given. Tattvamasi is repeated 9 times. When something is repeated again and again, generally we say repetition is a dosha. It's a defect. We don't want to listen to the same thing again and again. When person says same thing again and again, we said, why do you repeat? Already you are told once. Why you keep on repeating the same thing? We get irritated, we get bored. But not with regard to the Shastram. In Shastram, you will keep hearing the same thing again and again. It means there is tatparya in that for abhyasaha. That is another linga, another characteristic by which you can arrive at the tatparya of the Shastram. All these tools are applied. Apurvata, what is covered by Shastram is not covered by any other pramanam. And there is phalam, result also is there. Jnanam jnanena mokshaha, jnanam eva mokshaha tava. Then there will be arthavada, there will be praise and upapatti. That is logic also will be there. Remember, by logic, we cannot establish Ishvara, but logical support is given. Logic in keeping with the Shastram. Shruti Mata Tarkaha. That is what Hetumadbihi. Hetumadbihi Vinishchitaihi. Nishchita referring to this Tatpari Nirnaya by applying the sixfold Linga, Vinishchitaihi. The Tatparya is well ascertained. Therefore, Vedanta, Uttara Mimamsa. It is the teaching of Uttara Mimamsa, that's Advaita, is well ascertained. The teaching Advaita Upadesha is well ascertained. We say Advaita, Visishta Advaita, we will say Visishta Advaita. Of course, when we will debate and then we will prove Advaita is Satyam, that's different. But applying the Shadlinga. So Uttara Mimamsa, that Vedanta is ascertained. The teaching of Vedanta is ascertained. The Upanishads, 1180 Upanishads are there. All Upanishads present the same thing, the same teaching, and the teaching is Tattvatamasi, it is Advaita. How do you arrive at each Upanishad? Why not each Upanishad talks about different things? No, all Upanishads talk about the same thing. Thus, we arrive at by this Shat Linga, Upakrama, Upasamhara, and also other lingas and Hetu, logic, Hetu Madbihi. All these things are done in the tradition by the Acharyas in the tradition, and they conclusively arrive at the Tatparya of the Shastram. Tattu Samanvayat. There is a sutra in Brahma Sutra also. All Upanishads, they talk the same thing, they present the same thing. Maybe the prakriyas are different, language is different, method may be different, but they present the same thing. So, therefore, Vividaihi, Upanishadbihi, Shandobhihi, Brahma Sutra, Brahma Suchaka Padaihi, Vakyaihi, Etumadbihi, along with Shrutimata Tarkaihi, Vinishchitaihi, Etumadbihi, Rishibhihi, Bhagavad Gitam, Rishibhihi, Upanishad, the Upanishad, in the Veda, Gitam, Nishchitam. Gitam is also appropriate because the word Rishi can mean Rishi, Kavi mean Rishi, therefore Gitam, the word can be used. But Gitam, they sang, you can say sang also, why not? Because the Taittiriya Upanishad, at the end, after knowing that Brahmaham Asmiti, then the person, he sings, ha hu ahamannam, iti. Gitam, it is Gitam. So iti, Bhagavan praises the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna, the distinct knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is distinct from Kshetra, that is requires Viveka, therefore that Viveka Jnanam, the knowledge of Kshetra and Kshetrajna is presented, that is, the knowledge is glorified. Then after that, we saw, then the next shloka, here, now Bhagavan will, having praised, now he will talk about the Kshetra. What is Kshetra? See, once Stuti is done, then there will be enthusiasm on the part of the listeners to know what is the Kshetra. Arjuna will be all ears to know what Kshetra is. What is Kshetra? Kshetra is Anatma, that we say Anatma. Or in the language of Sankhya, it is Prakriti. Prakriti is, in Sankhya, it is said Prakriti consists of 24 tattva. Chatur Vimshati Tattvani. That is what Prakriti, which is already talked about in the 7th chapter. Mama Prakriti, Vida Bhavati, Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. In the 7th chapter, Bhagavan has said, so Mama Prakriti, Vida Bhavati, Paracha, Para Prakriti, Apara Prakriti, iti. Vinna Prakriti Ashtada, that is in the Shloka number 4. Bhumirapo Nalo Vayuhu Khanmano Buddhirevacha Agankara iti yamme Vinna Prakriti Ashtada. Apareyam Mitastvanyam Prakritim Vidhi me Param Ivabhota Mahabaho Yedam Dharyate Jagate. That is two Prakritis. Lower Prakriti is Bhumihi, Apaha, Analaha, etc. May you know my other Prakriti, Apara Prakriti, higher Prakriti, by which which is the essential nature of the Jiva, and that is what sustains the entire Jagat. Iti. Apara Prakriti, two types of Prakriti. Apara Prakriti is Atma. Entire world is sustained by what? Sustained by Brahma, Atma, Atma Tattvam. Minus Atma, where is this Jagat? Jagat is enjoys Sattvam, the status of being existing being because of Ishvara, because of Brahma. So that is Apara Prakriti. Apara Prakriti is Kshetragya in the language of the 13th chapter. Para Prakriti is Kshetram. So therefore Kshetram, Bhagavan presents. The language of is Sankhya. Now Sankhya, according to them, the Prakriti has got 24 tattvas. That he mentions here. If you see Gita, Bhagavan has drawn many things from Sankhya Darshana. Sankhya Darshana is very useful in presenting the creation. We don't emphasize much on creation. Vedanta doesn't emphasize much on creation. So therefore, because it is mithya, anyway it is mithya. Mithya means Vishnu. Mithya means not that it doesn't exist. Sometimes mithya saying, as though it is tucham doesn't exist, people may think it is not so. It is, that's got vyavaharika satyam. It has got empirical reality. Mithya means doesn't enjoy paramarthika satyam. That is what mithya is. Mithya means not non-existence. Non-existence we cannot talk about at all because it is not exist. It doesn't exist, non-existent. How can we talk about that which doesn't exist? How can I describe about the headache which I don't have? How can I talk about the experience which which I have not experienced so far, which I have not experienced? You can talk about your experience only when you had that experience before, or when you can talk about things when you know it. Otherwise, how will you talk about? It has to exist for it to know about, and then we experience, and it can be talked about. The non-existent doesn't exist. So therefore, non-existence, since we cannot talk about, and when we say Jagat is Mithya, it is not a non-existent thing. It is what we experience. Moment we wake up, we start experiencing. The deep sleep, when we wake up, we start experiencing. How can you dismiss this is non-existent? Is it absolutely existing? Does it enjoy absolute existence? That we say no. That is what we say Vyavaharika Satya. Therefore, Kinchit Bhavarupam. Asti iti na vaktum shakyate. Nasti iti api vaktum na shakyate. That's why it is in between the two. We cannot say it is. Because once you say Jagat Asti, then you give reality to the Jagat. Does Jagat really exist? Does pot really exist? No. Examining the pot, we see it is just a Namarupa. Pot doesn't exist. It is only clay. At the same time, you cannot say pot doesn't exist. Because pot can hold water. It exists also. That is why Sat Asadhyam Anirvachaniyam. And that Anirvachaniyam is what we call Mithya. So Mithya doesn't mean Tucham. It is the connotation of empirical reality. That alone it has. So this is important to be understood. Therefore, since Jagat is Mithya, it is Mithya means it is not Mithya is Satyam. Satyam is not Mithya. Pot is just a Namarupa. Pot is clay. But clay is not pot alone. Clay can manifest in so many other forms. Therefore, if a Jagat is Mithya, when we say, we don't dismiss a Jagat. We dismiss a Jagat as enjoying the absolute reality. That is what dismissal is. So our Tatparya is not Jagat. Our Tatparya is not Srishti. Therefore, we can take Srishti Tattvam from Sankhya. We don't have problem. Even though Sankhya Darshana is Dvaita Darshana, we don't have problem in borrowing the Srishti Prakaranam from Sankhya. That you will see in the Gita. Bhagavan has done 7th chapter, and now also he does here. Because Kshetra is to be explained. Kshetra is Idam Jagat. How do you explain Idam Jagat? From Sankhya, the 24 tattvas that he presents in the Shloka number 6. Let us read. Mahabhutanyaham buddhiravyaktameva cha.
महाभूतान्यहङ्कारो
बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च
बुद्धिरव्यक्तमेव च
Indriyani dashaitam cha panchachendriya gocharaha.
इन्द्रियाणि दशैकं च पञ्चचेन्द्रिययोगोचराः
Mahabhutani. Mahabhutani, Pancha Mahabhutani. So he just list down the 24 tattvas. Mahabhutani is Pancha Mahabhutani. Then Ahankara. The Ahankara is not our Ahankara, individual Ahankara. You'll see what it is. Mahabhutani, Ahankara, then Buddhihi and Avyakta. And Indriyani, Kati Indriyani. Indriyani we have Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani. So Indriyani, Dashaikam Indriyani. Sorry, Dasha Indriyani. Ekam that you have to Indriyani, Dasha Ekam Cha. That's interesting thing you can note. Indriyani, Dasha Indriyani, Karmendriyani, Jnanendriyani. They are Indriyani, Bhagyendriyani, Ekam, one more Indriya plus one. That is Manaha. So therefore, Pancha, Dasha, Pancha Jnanendriyani, Pancha Karmendriyani, therefore Dasha Indriyani, Ekam Indriyam, you have to say Ekam Indriyam. Dasha goes with Indriyani. Ekam cha, one more. But one more is, that is Manaha, which is Antarindriya. Other Indriyas, Karmendriyani, Jnanendriyani, Bhagyendriyani. Manaha is Antarindriya. So Manaha. And Pancha Cha Indriya Gochar, not Chendriya. Che is, that is what is Chendriya. It is Sandhi. Pancha Cha Indriya Gocharaha, Indriyehi Gocharaha, Ya, Ye. Indriyehi Gocharaha, Indriya Gocharaha, Shashti Tatpurish Samasa. Gocharaha is that which are Gochara, which are known through Indriya. What are known? Sense objects. 5 sense organs are there. 5 sense objects. Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha. So put together now. So later we will talk about the gross elements. Stula Bhutani, etc. Panch, which are, later, after talking about all this, then at the end he talks about Pancha Indriya Gocharaha, which is referring to Stula Bhut, objects of the sense organs, Pancha Indriya Gocharaha. So therefore, Pancha Mahabhutani, number 1, 5 are there. Ahankara, then Buddhi, then Avyakta. So therefore, they form the eightfold Prakriti, which Bhagavan mentioned in the 7th chapter. So, Bhumirapo Nalovayuhu, Kammano Buddhirevacha, Ahankara Vitiyame, Binna Prakriti Rashtada. So 8. So these 8. Then Mahabhutani, that is totally referring to the Sukshma Bhutani, Tanmatra, Pancha Mahabhutani. The Pancha Bhutani 5, Ahankaraha 1, Buddhihi another 1, Avyaktam 1. So 5 plus 3, 8. Then Indriyani Dasha, Ekam Manaha, and Pancha Indriya Gocharaha, that is sense object, referring to sense objects. Okay. So Bhutani is Mahat Bhutani. Bhutani is one adject, Mahabhutani, we say Mahat, it is Mahati, Mahan, it is Mahat Shabda. Maganti cha Bhutani, Mahabhutani. Magat as an adjective to Bhuta is used because this creation, the Srishti is nothing but made of these 5 elements only. Therefore, they are all pervasive. They are the hetu for the gross elements. Sukshma Bhutani are the Tanmatras are the Karanam for Stula Bhutani. Pancha Sukshma Bhutani, from that Pancha Bhautikani, this Bhautika Prapancha, this gross world is formed. So therefore the entire Jagat, Srishti is pervaded by this Bhutani alone, this five Sukshma, Akasha, Vayu, Agniya, Apaha, then Prithvi. When we use this word, it is referring to Sukshma, not to the gross. The Sukshma becomes Bhautika, that also we refer to by the same word, Akasha, Vayu, Agnihi, Apaha, Prithvi iti. So the names are common for both Sukshma, the Sukshma level, Sukshma with referring to Sukshma Bhuta, the Adip, Stula Bhuta. The names are different. Tanmatra is referring to Sukshma Bhutani, Pancha Sukshma Bhutani, Pancha Maha Bhutani, Akasha, Akashaha, Vayu, Apaha, Prithvi, Apaha, Agnihi, Apaha, Prithvi iti. That is Pancha Maha Bhutani. Ahankara. So, see, Srishti has not yet started. First is Sukshma Bhutani. You may ask how to Sukshma Bhutani has come. In Taittiriya it is mentioned. Tasmad etasmad akasha sambhutaha. From this Brahma, which is this Atma, from that Akasha is born. What Akasha? Sukshma Akasha, not Stula. Stula has not yet come. Stula Srishti will come only after Sukshma Srishti. First Sukshma Bhutas have to be created. Out of that only Panchikaranam happens, then only Stula Bhutas come to existence. What we experience is Stula, Prapancha, Stula Bhutas, which has its Karanam Hetu in Sukshma Bhuta. How Sukshma Bhutas are formed? Tasmad Tasmad Akasha Sambhutaha, from this Brahma, Akasha has come. From this Brahma, which is this Atma, Akasha has come. Akasha Vayu, Vayor Agnihi, Agner Apaha, then Adhyas Prithvi. To be the sequence of the birth of the Pancha Sukshma Bhuta is given in presenting the Brahma as in Tatastha Lakshanam. So therefore, Ahankara, next one is there. What Ahankara? It is not Vyashti Ahankara. It is not the individual ego. It is Samashti. Because creation of Shariram is yet to come. Individual Shariram has not yet come yet. Therefore, this Ahankara is Samashti Ahankara. It is Samashti Ahankara. So, this Samashti Ahankara is like Vyashti Ahankara, this Aham Pratyaya Lakshana at the total level. When you have Ahankara at the individual level, that is what we call ego, individual ego. Ego means Ahankara, not egoism, ego, superiority, or I'm better than you. That is not. Ego is sense of individuality. That is what ego is. Not ego, in the Lokika sense we use is more egoistic, not that in that sense. The sense of individuality, ego. Now we are talking about the sense of not individuality. At the total level we talk about. At the total level it is called Aham Pratyaya Lakshana is Ahankaraha iti. So Ahankara is the next one. Then Buddhihi. Buddhihi. Individual also has got Buddhi. What is this Buddhi? This Buddhi referring to Samashti Buddhi. It's called Mahat Tattva. Mahat Tattvam, Samashti Buddhi, total. All individuals put together becomes a total. So total means it's referring to Ishvara. Ishvara Buddhi. The Buddhi of the total. Virat at the gross level. So Sukshma level it is Ishvara. So Buddhi, Samashti Buddhi. So we have to say Samashti Ahankara. Ahankara is Samashti Ahankara. Samashti Ahankara is what? Hiranyagarbha it is. Sukshma level. Samashti Ahankara. Then Samashti Buddhi, it is Mahat. The language of Sankhya, it is Mahat. Mahat Tattvam. So therefore, the total Ishvara, the word Ishvara is used to refer to the total. The technical term. In Vedanta, though we use Ishvara as referring to Brahma. but it is used at the level of Upadhi, referring to the total. At the Karana level, at the Samashti Karana Prapancha level, we use the word Ishvara. At the Samashti Sukshma level, we use the word Hiranyagarbha. At the Samashti gross level, we use the word Virat. So causal level, total causal level, total causal. For that, to refer to that, we use the word Ishvara, and total subtle, we use the word Hiranyagarbha, and total gross, Virat. So we are talking about here total, not individual. Individual has not yet come. So before the Srishti, Ishvara has to make a Sankalpa. Pragusyam praja yeti satapotapyata satapastappa may become many. That is Ishvara Sankalpa. Desire in the mind of Ishvara. The mind is total. May become many. The desire is prompted by the karma of the jivas. Samashti jivanam karma is the cause of the desire in the mind, the cosmic mind. You can use the word cosmic, the cosmic mind of Ishvara. Therefore, Ishvara does Sankalpa, may create this Jagat. Then only Jagat Srishti starts. First at the Sankalpa level, the thought level. Idam Sarvam Asrajata. The Ishvara creating this, Ishvara must have knowledge. He must be all knowledge. And that the knowledge requires Upadhi. Ishvara also must have Sharamana Sangata. Upadhi must be there. The Upadhi of Ishvara, the Upadhi of Ishvara, which has the all knowledge, it's called Samashti Buddhi. With that Upadhi, Brahma is Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha is a technical. Hiranyam means jnanam, knowledge. Garbhe, it is there in the womb. Bhagavan did not gather knowledge piece by piece, part by part. It's total knowledge, it's all knowledge. So therefore, Hiranyagarbha is the Upadhi of Brahma, the Sukshma level, and endowed with the knowledge, and now it's ready to do Sankalpa. Therefore, Ahankara is there. Ahankara, which is there. Ahankara, the Magat, which is Ahankara is a sense of the individuality, but not at the total level, sense cosmic level. Ahankara asti samashti. So it means Ishvara create means before that creation. Where was the creation? Ishvara was in Yoga Nidra. That is what depicted in symbolically as Vishnu residing on a serpent coil, the Kshira Sagara. It is Bhagavan is in Yoga Nidra. That is, Yoga Nidra means in the previous Kalpa, the Srishti was withdrawn at the end, Mahapralaya. The Srishti has become unmanifest, gone to the causal state. That is what Yoga Nidra. Now, at the end of the Mahapralaya, the next Kalpa starts. Next Kalpa, next Kalpa to start, that Ishvara has to wake up. What is the cause which causes Bhagavan to wake up? Karma pala of the Jiva. Samashti karma pala of the Jiva that are waiting for manifesting and fulfillment. So that wakes up Ishvara from sleep, and therefore Ishvara makes Sankalpa. And Ishvara being Sarvajnaha, therefore he manifests this Jagat. He manifests this, he's Sarvajna, he's all knowing. Therefore he doesn't have to create one by one. He's all knowledge. All knowledge is simultaneously available in the mind of Ishvara. Samashti Buddhi, that is the Buddhi, Samashti. And Ahankaraha, may become many, Ahankara. So therefore, Mahabhutan Ahankaraha Buddhihi, this is the krama of the creation. Then Avyaktam. Then Avyakta. Avyakta is the unmanifest, that which is there before creation. Before creation, everything was in the unmanifest form. Therefore, it become manifest, Avyakta. So Avyakta is what? Prakriti. The Prakriti, Avyakta is Prakriti. The Prakriti when manifest, that becomes creation. The Prakriti, which is unmanifested stage, it's called Avyakta. The Avyakta alone becomes Magat, Samashti Buddhi. From Samashti Buddhi alone, Ahankara. Then from Ahankara, this Sukshma Bhutani. The order you have to make it like that. Not in that way. Mahabhutani first and then Ahankara. Not like that. From Avyaktam, the Prakriti which was in the unmanifest stage, Avyaktam, from that Buddhi, Samashti Buddhi, then the Samashti Buddhi, so it's called Magat. From that Magat, Samashti Buddhi, Ahankara, then from Ahankara, this Mahabhutani. See, Mahabhutani, Sukshma Bhutani are created. That must be supported by Ahankara, Samashti Ahankara. That's why we say creator. Creator means creatorship is there. Creator, the person, as a creator. But he's not bound. Ishvara, though he does, he doesn't, he's not bound like Jiva. Jiva is bound. Kartrutva Buddhi user is bound. But Ishvara is not bound. If Ishvara is also bound, Ishvara will be a samsari like us. Ishvara is not bound. That's why Mayavi is. Prakriti is under his Vasha. So, Maya to Prakritim Vidya, Mayinam to Maheshwaram. Maya, other word for Prakriti, which is under the Vasha of Ishvara. Therefore, is not controlled by, not contained by Maya. Under the Vasha is not under the Vasha of Maya, like us. That is Ishvara. Therefore, his Ahankara is not like our Ahankara. The Ahankara, the creator. That's why Upanishad says, may become many. May become many. Aham idam sagam asrjata. So therefore, Avyaktam from Avyaktam, that order. Avyaktam, Samashti Buddhi to Ahankara, Ahankara to Mahabhutani, Sukshma Bhutas have come. Sukshma Bhuta Bhagavan had created. From that, Sukshma Bhutani, then after that, then all Indriya, all the Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, Pancha Jnanendriya formed of Sattva aspect, and Pancha Karmendriya formed of Rajas aspect. All those things, Tattva we must have studied. We have seen Tattva, in fact. Ekam, Manaha. Manaha is Tattva aspect of all the five elements. From that, Ekam, Manaha. Then, Indriya, then all these are there. Indriyas are created. Panchajnani, there must be objects of perception. There must be Vishaya. Therefore, Indriya Gocharaha cha. So put together, how many are there? So, from Ahankara, if you take, from Ahankara, Mahabhutani, Dasha Indriyani, Ekam Manaha, Pancha, Indriya Gocharaha is Vishayaha, Indriya Vishayaha. From Ahankara, Pancha Mahabhutani is 5, Indriyani is Dasha Indriyani, 10 plus 5, 15, Ekam Manaha is plus 1, 16. 16 items are born of Samashti Ahankara. 16 items are born. Then Buddhi, Avyaktam, 16 plus 2, 18. Then Pancha Jnanendriya, Gocharaha, 5 sense objects. 5 sense objects. So put together everything. Avyaktam, Buddhi, Ahankaraha, Pancha Mahabhutani, 8. Then 8 plus 10 Indriyas, Dasha Indriyani, 18. Manaha, 1, 19. 19 plus Indriya, Pancha Indriya Vishayaha, plus 5, 24. 24 Tattva. Then what is the other Tattva? 25th Tattva is Purushaha Kshetrajnaha. 25th Tattva is Purushaha. So Purushaha and Prakriti, that is the Sankhya, with philosophy. So Purushaha is Kshetrajnaha. So here what is mentioned? Purusha is not mentioned. Here one talks about Kshetra. So therefore 24 Tattvas. So for Panchamaha Bhutani, Tanmatrani ityartha, Sukshma Bhutani, Agankarah, Samashti Agankarah, Buddhi Samashti Buddhi, Magat Tattvam. Then Prakriti, which is in the unmanifest avastha, avyaktam, that is Prakriti. Then all these Indriyani, Dasha Indriyani, Ekam Manaha, Pancha, Indriya Gochar Visayaha, Ete, these all these Etani, Kshetrani, all these are called by the name Kshetra. Not only this, Bhagavan doesn't stop with the definition here, the definition of Kshetra. Further he continues. Not only these are Kshetra, Tani Etani, Chaturvimshati Tattvani, Sankyaha, Tani Chaturvimshati Tattvani iti achakshate. In the Bhashim Bhashakara says, not only these are Kshetra, further what? Some of the modifications of the Antakaranam are also Kshetra only. That is also Kshetra only. It, the generally we commit the mistake of that gunas to be Atma Guna iti. Like in fact, other darshana they take guna separately. That Icha, Dvesha, Sukha, Dukkha, all these we associated with the Atma Guna. But they are also Kshetra. They are also Kshetram only, not Kshetrajna. Kshetrajna is different from Kshetra. Because these are mixed up with Atma, therefore these are looked upon as Atma Guna. Atma doesn't have any guna. Atma doesn't have any Icha, Desha, Sukham, all those things. Atma doesn't have. These are all Vikara of the Antakaran. Antakaranam alone undergoes Vikara, modifications, because of which there is Icha, desire, there is Dukkha, Desha, etc. All this. But what are all those things? They are also Kshetram only. They are also Anatma only. That Bhagavan says in the next shloka. So let us read. Icha, Desha, Sukham, Dukkam, Sankhatas, Dhritihi.
द्वेष सुखं दुःखं सङ्घातश्चेतनाधृतिः
एतत्क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारमुदाहृतम्
एतत्क्षेत्रं समासेन सविकारम् उदाहृतम्.
That previous shloka and this shloka should have been read together. The two shloka defines what kshetra is. Second line of this shloka, etat kshetram samasena udagritam maya uktam. Bhagavan says this is called kshetra briefly. So the 24 Chaturvimshati Tattvani, which Sankhya said, they are kshetra. Not only that, the modifications of the Antakarna, the Vikara, like some of them Bhagavan mentions here, but not all not possible also. Antakarna Vikarayas are many. Depression, elation, joy, aversion, attachment, all these are Antakarna, anger, everything is Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya, everything is Antakarna Vikara, everything is Kshetram only, Anatma only. So he's mentioned some of them in the first line. Icha is a vritti. Everything is a vritti. Anger is a vritti. Kama is a vritti. Krodha is a vritti. Aksarya vritti. Everything vritti. Sukham is also vritti. Icha, desire is a vritti. So the kshetrajna, when the person, kshetrajna, when he thinks, he becomes, I am a thinker. So I am a thinker, I am a desirer. Here Icha is I desire. Who is the desire? I am the desirer. The desirer, the one who desires, is a vritti. Who has the desire? I am the desirer. Where is this? The desirer is. Desirer is Atma. Reality of the desire is Atma. But desirer, as though it exists, it is a kshetra. It is kshetram. It is kshetram only. The truth is, The desirer is not different from Atma, but Atma is not a desirer. Then what is the desire? What is the reality of the desire? It is mithya. Instead of using the word mithya here, we say kshetram because we know what mithya is. That is kshetram. Anything other than Atma is kshetrajna is kshetram. Therefore, desirer, icha is kshetram. Similarly, dvesha also kshetram only. So, similarly, sukham dukkam, sukha anubhava, dukkha anubhava, sukha dukkha. All these are chitta vritti, modification of the antakaranam. All these experiences is not only this, bhaya, krodha, all the emotions. Sangatas chetana dhritihi. Here, icha is one thing is mentioned. Dvesha, hatred. Sukham, pleasure. All these are antakarana vritti, modification of the mind. Same dukkham, pain. Then sangataha. Sangataha referring to sangata means assemblage, put together, that which is put together. All these sense organs, the sharira and sense organs, mind, everything is put together. It's referring to the body. So physical body includes sukshma shariram also and karna shariram, of course. All the three shariram. All these are kshetram. Sangataha, chetana. Chetana is cognition. Chetana is I know this is a book. I have the cognition. That is at the thought level. The knowledge is there. That is also kshetram. The vritti is known to me. The cognition of the vritti. This is a part. Yeshaha gataha, yeshaha pataha, yeshaha mataha. That is also kshetram. This is a part, but I am not the part. I have the knowledge that this is a part. But why does that thing that doesn't apply for shariram? That is because of ajnana, aviveka. I don't consider me to be a part when I see the part. Same thing when I see the shariram, I should not consider myself as the shariram alone. But that is what happens that our experience, our behavior, our action is in the vyavahara. And that too, when the ego is touched, I am hurt. Abhiman. All these are what? Kshetram only. Dhritihi, courage. Courage also. So these are some of the things which Bhagavan mentions. All these are kshetramiti sama sena savikaram vikarena saha. Savikara is the kshetra, not kshetra what is told in the previous shloka, plus its modification. Savikaraha, savikaram, along with modification, it is called udagritam. It is briefly told by me as kshetraha, kshetramiti, not kshetraha, kshetramiti. All these are kshetram. Bhagavan, Arjuna asked what is kshetram. So in just two shlokas, everything Bhagavan covered. First shloka, all the tattvani, and second shloka, all the vikaras of the antakarana. Everything is covered. So the icha is a thought. Chitta vrittihi icha. Ragaha iti. So make dukkham also. That is chitta vrittihi dveshaha, krodaha. When something is anukula vedanyam, that becomes sukha. If it is pratikula, then dukkha. Again, it is the experience chitta vritti. Sangatihi dehadi indriyanam, sangatihi, sangataha, kshetram. Then prayatanaha, dhritihi, effort. That is also kshetram. So effort, then the elation, frustration, dejection, all types of positive and negative, everything, all antakarana vikara. All these are kshetram. So Bhagavan, Icha, they are starting from Icha and Drishantaha, Sarve, you have to say Sarve, Antakaranat, Ye Udbhavanti, ते सर्वे धर्माः न आत्मनः क्षेत्रज्ञस्य किन्तु they all belong to antakaranam kshetram. So distinct from kshetrajna, Atma is the witness of all the modifications of the antakaranam. Therefore, it cannot be kshetrajna. Therefore, distinct from kshetram, all the antakarana vrittayaha, all the kshetram iti. So antakaranam, antakarana dharmaha. These are all antakarana dharma. So all these are kshetram, kshetra padavachyam. Vikarena, magadadina vikarena. Iti udagaratam upaparitam maya by me. It is tulyam for you. It is presented as Kshetra Samasena briefly by me. Sri Bhagavan says. Then from 13th Shloka, sorry, from the 8th Shloka onwards, Bhagavan will present, instead of presenting Kshetrajna, he will present sadhanam. Sadhanam to know the Kshetrajna, to understand the Kshetrajna. So the qualifications for knowledge, which is called the jnana, he talks about. He talks about Kshetrajna, but not directly. Kshetrajna will talk about later. Bhagavan rearranges the question of Arjuna. To understand Kshetrajna, there must be, the person must be qualified for knowledge. So for jnana sadhanani, that is the topic from the next shloka. Up to shloka number is an important topic. Generally, Swamiji, it takes this in the beginning because it's our values. So it goes up to 13th shloka. 12th shloka, 20 spiritual values. That is the important topic. We'll see the next slides. I'll stop here. Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Tanvanti Divyai Stavai Vedai Sangha Padhakramopanishadai Yaganti Yam Samaga Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yasyantam na vidussura suraganaha devaya tasmai namaha Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamadachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Dhanyavadaha.
धन्यवादः आचार्य जी।
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।
धन्यवाद
धन्यवादः जी।
धन्यवाद।